In this video, we will discuss a Spanish-language thriller which is an original film produced by a streaming service. The paramedic tells the story of Angel, a psychopathic man who is ready to do anything to get his lover back, even with his half-paralyzed body condition. Can his lover Vanny escape from the ambush of this former psychopath? Let's find out directly. The paramedic film tells the story of Angel, a man who works as a medical officer in the emergency services together with Ricardo, his partner. Angel is always ready to help people who have an accident. However, Angel is not as innocent as a medical officer in general. Angel did not hesitate to take valuables belonging to the victims he helped, such as glasses or jewelry. These collected items are then sold to a man named Furman. Angel lives in an apartment with his girlfriend Vanny, who is studying as a veterinarian. In their apartment lived an old man named Vicente who lived with a pet dog. Vanny likes animals but not Angel. Angel even stepped on the poop of Vicente's pet dog and deliberately brushed it on the carpet of Vicente's apartment. Every night Vicente's dog barks, disturbing Angel's sleep. It made Angel want to get rid of the dog. Angel wanted to have children, but despite trying many times, Vanny is still not pregnant. When he went to the obstetrician, Angel was told that his sperm was so weak that he would have a hard time having children. It was then that Angel realized that he was the primary source of Vanny not being pregnant. In fact, Angel and Vanny's relationship is not very romantic. One day, Angel checks Vanny's cell phone and finds Vanny has been chatting with her classmate named Roberto. Roberto himself looks so handsome. Angel himself is a very possessive person towards his partner. At the hospital where he works, Angel has a friend named Andres who works as a doctor. Sure enough, Andres often gave Angel medicines to take. One day, Angel gets an emergency call. He and Ricardo immediately picked up the victim who had an accident. While on his way back to the hospital, Ricardo suddenly took a shortcut. Unfortunately, their car had an accident. The result of the accident was fatal for Angel. He was paralyzed in his legs, so he had to sit in a wheelchair. His condition hit Angel and Vanny so severely. Now Angel must accept the fact that he has to use a wheelchair. Vanny patiently takes care of Angel, but Angel begins to be possessive of Vanny. Angel suspects that Vanny is currently close to his college friend Roberto. Vanny looks dressed up when she is about to go to campus. Fear of losing Vanny makes Angel learn how to hack Vanny's cell phone. One day, Ricardo, his old work friend, came to visit. It can be seen that Ricardo only suffered scratches on his face as a result of the accident. Angel was so angry to see Ricardo, who had caused him to be half paralyzed. Finally, he kicked Ricardo out of his apartment. That night, when she was about to go to college, Angel pretended to ask Vanny to buy him ice cream. Later, he used the moment to install a hacking application on Vanny's cell phone. Now he has all access to her mobile phone, including chat and camera and whom she communicates with. Through his laptop, Angel could even tell where Vanny had gone. Angel spent the night alone at home and his sleep was disturbed. Vicente's dog barked all night. When confronted, Vicente said he was forced to leave his dog alone at home when he visited his hospitalized wife, but it seems that Angel can't stand the dog's presence anymore. Night came and Angel and Vanny get into an argument. Vanny was offered a job at a veterinary clinic and will work part-time as customer service. It made Angel so angry. The two also quarreled because Vanny only wanted to pursue her dream. In the middle of the night, Angel wakes up in pain. He was in so much pain and was trying to find painkillers. Finally, he found it in the kitchen, but Angel wanted to trap Vanny with guilt, so he hid the dope under the bed. The following day, when Vanny came home, Angel scolded her for letting himself be in pain all night without medicine. That incident made Vanny so guilty. Angel, who could not stand the barking of Vicente's dog, decided to kill the dog. He stuck the needle into the flesh and gave it to Vicente's dog. Obviously, his psychopathic psyche is starting to grow. Then through his computer screen, Angel finally monitored Vanny's conversation with her friend. Vanny says that she can't stand living with Angel anymore, but she still can't leave him even though her friend had asked Vanny to go. Especially Angel was very rude to her. Realizing that Vanny might leave him, Angel finally decides to seduce her. Angel is suddenly busy preparing a romantic dinner for Vanny. He also asked Vanny to wear the super sexy dress he bought. Angel promised to renovate his grandmother's room for Vanny so that she could study comfortably. He still hopes to have a baby with Vanny. That incident made Vanny even more confused about leaving Angel. While Angel was taking a shower, Vanny sent a message to her friend. Surprisingly, she could hear the sound of messages being sent from the computer in Angel's room as if her cell phone was connected to it. Out of curiosity, she then checked. It was then that Vanny realized that Angel had been monitoring her every move. Angel is definitely a true stalker. Angry that her privacy has been infiltrated, Vanny decides to leave Angel for good, bringing some clothes. Finally, she left. She only left a pink dress that Angel had bought. Angel, who realized that Vanny knew his secret, was so sad. but he realized that Vanny would never return. Several months later, Angel lived in solitude. One day, Angel decides to find Vanny by following her to her school. It was then that he realized that Vanny and Ricardo were currently dating. That fact made Angel so angry. It turns out that Ricardo intentionally caused Angel to crash because he had been in a relationship with Vanny for a long time. Angel ends up following Vanny and Ricardo to a baby supply store. It turns out that Vanny is pregnant with Ricardo's child. Realizing that Angel was devastated. Moreover, he hoped to have children. So Angel's psychopathic soul begins to burn and he begins to plan a way to get Vanny back. Angel then meets Andres, his friend who is a doctor. Angel asks for an anesthetic as he said his leg is always in pain. Angel then followed Vanny to her school and pretended to say goodbye. Vanny, who feels sorry for Angel's condition, finally intends to take him to his apartment. There, Angel said that he had put in some clothes and some Vanny equipment. With that, Angel coaxed Vanny into his apartment. But Vanny was not at all expecting the trap that Angel had prepared for her. Inside the apartment, Angel injects an anesthetic into Vanny's body, which immediately gulps her consciousness. Once again, Vanny is trapped in the world of Angel. Vanny wakes up in Angel's former grandmother's room. Her hands and feet were tied. At the same time, her mouth was gagged so she could not speak. Despite screaming as loudly as she could, Vanny realized she couldn't break free. Angel then played loud music and locked Vanny in the room. To launch the action, Angel then took Vanny's cell phone and texted Ricardo. The message says that Vanny doesn't want to have anything to do with Ricardo anymore. Then her cell phone was thrown into the riverbed. Angel is obsessed with Vanny. He just kept holding Vanny and sleeping alone with him. But that night, Vicente heard a commotion from Angel's apartment, so he came to check. Vicente insisted that he heard the music playing very loud. He could even hear Vanny's voice, but Angel assures that there is no Vanny there. Angel also lied and said he brought in an escort. The next night, Angel returns to his apartment but is intercepted by Ricardo. Ricardo insisted that Vanny disappeared and the person who sent the text was not her. He knew full well that he and Vanny wanted to have children and it was impossible she would leave him. But Angel insisted that he didn't know about Vanny. He then sped away. The following day, Vanny woke up and was shocked to see Angel sitting beside her. But she was even more shocked when she found that her legs could not be moved at all. Angel said if her leg was just numbed and it wouldn't be permanent. Angel said that he would take good care of Vanny's baby. Angel then played loud music again. Vanny knew she couldn't get out of the room with her numb legs. She was clearly trapped in that apartment with a disturbed man. Alone on the balcony of his room, Angel gets a message from Ricardo saying he is sure Angel knows about the missing Vanny. Then he will call the police if Angel doesn't hand over Vanny quickly. Angel knew very well that the police should not catch him. He must do something to get rid of Ricardo forever. Angel and Vanny then had dinner together. When Angel was off guard, Vanny hit Angel in the head with a champagne bottle with all her might. While dragging her body, Vanny struggled to get out of the apartment. But she is not as strong compared to Angel. With a sedative shot, Angel managed to incapacitate Vanny. However, the fight between the two turned out to be heard by Vicente. Vicente is sure that he heard Vanny's voice and forces his way into Angel's apartment. Angel, with a wound on his head, could do nothing but let Vicente in. Vicente, who saw Vanny lying on the floor, tried to help her, but Angel didn't let him ruin his plan. With a knife, Angel repeatedly attacked the old man with a knife until he finally fatally injured him. To get rid of Vicente's body, Angel calls his stolen goods collector Furman. Vicente's body was finally removed so easily. In the morning, Angel was having breakfast when he heard that the police were coming. Amazingly, he was able to act and did not look panicked at all. The officer came to look for Vanny's missing person. Angel insisted that he knew nothing about the missing Vanny. Since that incident, Angel knew that he had to get rid of Ricardo as soon as possible. So armed with the apartment key he got from Vanny's bag, Angel sneaked into Ricardo's apartment. Hiding behind a curtain in the bathroom, Angel injects a sedative which instantly renders Ricardo unconscious. He then put a lot of alcohol into Ricardo's mouth using a funnel. He also spilled white powder on the table, looking as if Ricardo had died from a substance overdose. Such was the perfect plan to get rid of his competitor. Back in his room, Angel was already very excited to welcome baby Vanny. He even prepared a baby crib. He has also cooked a lot of food for Vanny, who is now also in a wheelchair. Angel wants her to be healthy so she can give birth to a healthy baby too. While eating, Angel took out a ring he had stolen before and proposed to Vanny. Vanny didn't move to look at Angel. She knew she had to get out of the apartment as soon as possible. While going to the bathroom, Vanny reassures Angel that she needs to be alone because she knew that Angel kept the nail clippers on the shelf. With great difficulty, Vanny finally found an object that would help her escape. That night, Vanny shivered with fever and Angel knew he had to look for medicine. So by tying and gagging her mouth, Angel went out, leaving Vanny alone in the apartment. It turned out that Vanny had hidden the nail clipper in her underwear. With the nail clippers, she tried desperately to untie the knots and finally managed to break free. Now Vanny must struggle to get out of the apartment as soon as possible. But she couldn't walk, so Vanny pulled herself with all her power left. Armed with a screwdriver, Vanny struggled to break the door's hinges until she finally managed to get out of Angel's apartment. At that time, the apartment surroundings were empty and Vanny struggled to drag her body as far as possible. But just as Vanny reached the stairs, Angel was back in an elevator. Angel, who saw Vanny struggling to catch her. Vanny shouted loudly as she dragged herself as far away from the psychopath as possible. Angel and Vanny then duel until finally Vanny manages to push Angel and make him fall to the ground floor. Angel was unconscious. A few months later, the scene moves to a hospital where Angel is sitting completely paralyzed from falling from that height. Now Angel can't even move all his body. The pregnant Vanny came and started to push Angel away slowly. Vanny whispered that from now on she would take care of Angel. In other words, Vanny is ready to take revenge for what she has experienced so far. The end.